What are the best graphic settings to use in the latest update for car parking multiplayer? So this update, from if you watch the video I just posted like an hour ago, you would see that we got new options for graphics and stuff like that, and it can get complicated for new players or those with different levels of devices. So with no hesitation, let's get straight to it. We're gonna start out in a few stages. So I'm gonna sit in my car just so I can zoom in close enough onto the car. So we're not gonna just stay here either. We're gonna do a lot more areas, like different maps. You can make your custom settings for different maps and stuff like that. So that relates to the fog. So for low end devices, that's where we're starting out. We're starting out from the bottom, coming up to the top. So if you have a lower end device, you obviously want to go down the fast. But we're not gonna just leave it like that. So if you're like super low end, like I'm talking about 4 gigs of RAM, maybe 6 gigs of RAM, but your CPU is not that strong, you can keep it about 80% resolution. Don't pressure that GPU too much. Render distance, you can definitely go higher than normal with the render distance. Render distance is fine. What kills performance is the prop distance. So you can either lower it all the way down or you can keep it close to that 60 range that it was before. Right about there. Car detail distance, you don't need that too high either. You just want, once people car are close enough to you that you can see it close up, it loads in. So that's all you need. Frame rate can be 60 FPS. You don't need higher than that. You really don't. You probably won't be staying at 60 too long unless you're like fully gaming device where it's good enough to play the game. Shadows, there are 2 things you can do for this. So we can either go low shadows. I'm gonna show you guys what you can do. So for daytime, you can go low shadows and put it about 10. So low shadows and about 10, it looks super clean. You don't want the long shadows because that it kind of kills the quality down. You're getting extended shadow distance for no reason. So you don't need that. The shadows look pixelated. You really don't need to go high, not even on high-end devices. So just keep it down low to about 10. That one looks the smoothest. So the shadows look smooth, not a high shadow distance. Your frame rate is gonna be smoother because you're keeping it low. And that's it for that. Color correction, you can choose any one of these reflection that matches your scene. If you want to go for an evening style, you can pick this, but I just go for this reflection because it fits the scene the most. And for the fog color is your choice. I use this color for like the evening look, and I use it in the desert to match the desert style, but you don't got to use it if you don't want to. I just use it to cover up for the render distance. So if you have a super low render distance, you can use the fog to cover it up so the objects don't pop in and out of existence all the time when you got your fog turned up. I leave the color filters to none because I want to edit after the video, after I record. So this is your choice, by the way. This doesn't have nothing to do with the graphics much. I keep mine at none. So that's that for fast. What else am I missing here? Yeah, you can turn on anti-aliasing if you want to, if it looks too sharp. Turn off the bloom if you don't need it. Turn off the motion blur if you don't need it, honestly. Ambient occlusion, avoid that. It's pointless. It's just extra shading for lost performance. So when you turn that on, yeah, the shading looks nice, but your lights aren't even that bright and stuff like that. So I just recommend turning that off. It's really not useful. You can keep your mirrors on and stuff like that. So this is how it looks. Low end device and stuff like that. The only thing you change honestly is the fog, like when you're at a different location. So let's say I go to the winter location, you can change the fog color to like blue and stuff like that. But otherwise from that, you don't need anything else. The second stage of the shadows, now if you don't want shadows at all, you're super low end and you don't want shadows at all, you can turn them off completely, and then you can accommodate for that with a night look. So now my shadows are off, but it's daytime so it doesn't look that good. But if you want it to look good, you click here and you lower the light height. So that's gonna bring like the night kind of look to it, just like that. So there aren't no shadows casting and it looks like it's night. And you can of course change the ambience. You can lower it. I forgot about the ambient settings, not gonna lie. It's a good thing I came in here. So yeah, you can lower that so it doesn't look too suspicious that the shadows are off. Just like that. And so when I close out, the game doesn't look that terrible because it's nighttime, so nobody's expecting to see a bunch of shadows You can turn your lights on and stuff like that to show that, yeah, you know, it's dark, it's the evening, and it looks great for low end anyways. So it's still gonna look good, and you're also not losing performance by having your shadows turned on. So just like that, you can have both shadows on or off depending on how low end your phone is. So I'm gonna turn these back up real quick, and these are my sun and ambient settings when it's daytime. So once I turn the sun back up, these are the ones I got. Turn the shadows back on, so I keep the shadows on low, because you really don't need high. You only need the shadow distance to be at about 10 or 21. So 10 is good if you're super low end, and once you get close to your car to drive, your shadows are gonna load in. So it won't load the shadows from afar, but this is good and clean enough for your own driving experience. So this works out just fine. Now for another example, this time let's go up to mid-range device. So we just showed the low end side of it. So you guys can take that as you will for the low end devices. Now for the mid-range devices, I spawned in at the tropics map. So you see the same kind of fog color and stuff, but I want to get the fog to match the water, and I want to increase the quality a bit for the mid-range. So we're gonna bring the quality to good this time. You can keep your resolution at 80 or 90 or 100 if your phone can really go there. Your render distance can definitely be maxed out, and your crop distance just a little bit. You don't need too much of that. Car detail distance can also take a little boost to it once your phone is strong enough, but I do recommend keeping the shadows still at low and just a bit up, like 21 or 32 right there. And you can turn your anti-aliasing off. This won't kill performance too much. Ambient occlusion is what kills the performance, that I realize, and the motion blur. So if you don't need those at all, turn them off. The bloom as well, you don't need that. And if you don't want to get blinded by chrome cars, you turn that off. So let's go to color correction now. Your reflection can be what you want it. You can use the regular one or the shiny one. I like the shiny one at the tropics. And now let me line up to adjust the fog. So let me look over here. Can I adjust it from here? Yeah, nice. All right, so I want to pay attention to the water, and I want to try to match its color. So I just want to give it a bluish hue that would just be good enough to match the color a little bit. So it blends in with it just a bit. Not too much, just a little subtle like that, and then I lower it. Just about right there. So it blends in with the horizon a little bit, just like that. And the graphics here are set. Okay, everything there is good. You don't need to. You can hide tire marks. I forgot about that. You will see that I have tire marks hidden. I have my VFX turned on. You can turn that off for the low-end devices, but keep it on for good and stronger devices. And you can hide the smoke too if it's too much for you, but I mostly just hide the skid marks because I know those can be all over the map sometimes. And you're good just like that. Quality looks good. The shadows are not too far away if you're on mid-range. And you know, the tropics map looks normal. But aside from that, you can use the regular sky too. You don't gotta use fog. If I turn the fog off, you can use the regular blue sky. It's just a skybox, the daytime sky, like that, and then you just adjust the rest of the ambient stuff. So let me come here. You can make it look realistic as possible. So we can change the sun to be like a more real life kind of look, cool kind of look in the tropics. Or you can make it look warmer if you want to. I'm gonna go with a cooler look, the real life kind of look, and then we increase the ambience. I like to increase the ambience so it shows more. It's a lot brighter. And you can lower the sun settings after that. Lower the light height. Yeah, that's what I meant. Just like that. And let me turn the fog back on now. Drop it down just a bit. Just enough where it kind of shows the sky. So it's showing the sky a little bit, but not too much. And now you got that tropical kind of evening look. That rain is about to be falling and stuff like that, but it looks cool. So that looks nice. As for the high-end devices, you guys already know what to do. You guys know how I run it. Everything maxed out, especially if you're in single player. You can downgrade to the other settings like the mid-range settings when you're in multiplayer, or the low-end settings, just in case you're having too much lag, too many people are spawning in. But in single player and stuff like that, you guys know if you got a beast of a phone, you already know what to do. Everything is cranked up 120 FPS as long as your phone supports that refresh rate, which most modern phones do. But the shadows now, you can keep it on high, but keep this down low so you got enough detail left back. So you see it's still jaggedy a bit, when you go too high. So I'll bring it down to about 32. So it looks smooth enough, and you still got enough shadow distance on it to see objects that are kind of far away. So when I get close up, I can still see that the bush has a shadow. These smaller ones don't have a shadow regardless. But like for other objects like these poles and stuff, and other trees and buildings, you're gonna see the shadows appear much closer, but still having a good quality than if you stretched it all the way out. So it ends about out here. The main difference with the high-end devices now is that you will just want to change your fog settings and stuff like that, just to make it, a little bit of color grading, if you will. So that and the reflections, you can change those how you want to, nighttime and stuff like that, or the sharper reflections. And the color I use at desert is a warmer color, just because it's a desert map, dust is blowing around and stuff. So you change the color to match whichever map you are spawned in at, and that's how we do it. Yeah, you can turn anti-aliasing on, you can turn your bloom on. I would still avoid ambient occlusion. Yeah, I don't like that thing. But you can turn your VFX on. I still like to hide the skid marks. I only turn them on when I'm drifting by myself. When I'm not drifting by myself, I turn them off. But yeah, you can keep that on just how you want to. And just like that, very simple graphic settings tutorial. Let me know how it looks for you. The rest of the color grading and stuff you can do for video editing. If you're recording content, you just increase the saturation a bit, kind of just the contrast, make it look a lot sharper too, and there you go. That's all you need pretty much. Fog and render distance carries a lot, especially for low end. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, guys, drop a like and subscribe if this was useful, and stay safe. See you in the next one.